What's going on, you guys? Kika here, back with another video, and today we are finally doing the valve cover gasket on the 95YJ here. I've been meaning to get to it, but I was going to do an oil change, and I'm like, I can't do an oil change and just leave the valve cover gasket leaking. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to also probably end up doing the thermostat and then a coolant flush because it's kind of in the way. And just want to show you guys two things that I did to the Jeep. And another thing that I'm gonna do the Jeep real quick, probably not in this video, maybe just real quick, but we ended up just painting the front bumper after we did the leaf springs and everything. And I also painted this, just bed lined it. It looks a little bit shinier and nicer now that it's a nice glossy finish. And then I also did the lights up front because I don't like amber. I hate amber. I'm gonna go ahead and order these, and they're gonna be the LEDs. I don't know if I'm going with just the LEDs that are clear, or if I'm gonna go with like the little blue. It's like a blue turn signal type of deal or something like that. Not sure if I'm going with those. They work and everything. I just don't like them because I hate the like halogen orange bulb look. But yeah, look at the front end, you guys. It's coming along just because I changed black. So that looks. So my valve cover gasket is leaking up front. I already degreased it and cleaned it off as best as I could, just to try and see where it was coming from. And then also the very back, there's quite a bit of oil leak. You can kind of see here. Like I said, I did clean it very. Oh shoot! I did clean it pretty decently, so it doesn't look that bad right now. But I mean, you could tell that at one point it was like super gunked up, and I put some degreaser, so of course it erased everything that was there. So I'll be doing that because we finally got some valve cover gasket. Okay, I was like 2.5. Okay, I don't know why I was thinking it looked pretty long, like if it was a 4.0. I was like, damn, I messed that one up. But no, looks about to be right. So, like I was saying, I was almost thinking that I should do the coolant just drain and fill, but now that I think about it, I don't know if I can go buy this. If I can buy this at O'Reilly's and it's like 15 bucks, the coolant temperature sensor, I wanted to replace that. It does work, but I don't know if I trust it. But that's probably going to be something else that I might do either in this video or along the way, because we might be able to just pull these aside. And so from my understanding, from what I know is I have a couple zip ties here, so one just holding the throttle cable because this broke, and then my map sensor is holding on to that because I put this hose on it since the other one was cracked, which is this. But it was leaking right here. Can't really see the hole, but it was leaking, so I'm gonna put this back on because I want it to be pretty much as clean as possible, and then that way I can put the map sensor back up here, and obviously it's not going to be in the way. So I have to take off those two zip ties, and I can pull the heater hoses out the way. I believe I have to take off this fuel rail. There's one bolt and one bolt over there, and then obviously I think it's like 10 bolts that hold the actual valve cover. And then there's also like a spark plug wire connector thing that's kind of there in the way also, so we're gonna have to take that out. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started on this thing so we can finally get this done and over with, because I'm dreading it. So I started out with draining the coolant, and the coolant is ridiculously dirty, you guys, so I'm pretty glad I'm doing this. I did find out that they do sell the coolant temperature sensor at O'Reilly's. They have it in stock for $20, so I'm just going to go pick it up. But I wanted to start draining the coolant first. Let's see. I don't think you can see how dirty that thing is. I might need to actually bring the hose in here and flush it a little bit, so I will do that. Alright guys, so while the coolant was draining, I was able to take off the, the PVC valve. I just put that off to the side over here. The map sensor I pulled up. The heater hose on the top right here and the top radiator hose, you guys can see how bad and corroded all that is. That's why I wanted to do this. And the radiator, again, you can kind of tell in there it's pretty bad. And then as you guys can see from the coolant, it's definitely not fully green. I just put the heater hose off to the side. I took off the whole top radiator hose. I'm probably going to run a little bit of water through it just to run it a little bit, like rinse it. And then we'll probably take this off. And then we'll start taking off all the bolts that hold on the valve cover. So I'm very happy I ended up doing this because you guys could see it looks very bad. So just preventative maintenance stuff that, you know, people should be taking care of. But this thing is definitely old and abused, so we're going to try and make the best of it. So rinse, and then I'll start taking off the valve cover. That's pretty much all I've taken off. Also this little hose too. So I've taken that off. What's up, man?
Sorry.
No, you're good. So I took off this hose, and now, like I said, we're just gonna rinse it, run a little bit of water through it, clear it out, and then we'll start taking off the valve cover gasket. Alright, you guys, so I ended up draining and flushing the coolant system, and that's all done. So I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and get started on loosening up these bolts, and then I'm gonna hit it with the impact, which is what I usually do. I don't like to take the impact straight to it. Look, this is a brand new one, and they're all broken loose. Look, loose. Let me see, where's this one's another one. Look, loose. Loose, you guys. Like, they're all loose. No wonder this thing was leaking, bruh. So they're all loose. I'm still gonna go ahead and replace the gasket, but I just wanted to show you guys. Like, look, this one, loose. This one I just broke loose. This one, loose. Oh, look, loose. Loose. Okay, like, that's why it was leaking, but we're still gonna replace it because I'm sure it was an issue either before or after this. Who knows? I'm surprised it even had a good oil pressure. That's bizarre. But when I open it up, I'm gonna also check the rockers and all that stuff. So let me go ahead and take this off. I'll probably just put you guys on fast mode and just have you guys sitting tight so you guys can see how much of a hassle I'm sure this is going to be to take this top off. So you guys see what's going on in here. It's pretty bad. That looks rough. Here looks rough. Nothing seems loose. I probably should have put some gloves on. Yeah, no, everything looks good, you guys. I just wanted to check it out, obviously, and everything looks pretty decent. Alright guys, I finally got the gasket for this thing, so we're gonna go ahead and take this off. It looks to be like there's only one yeah, it looks like there's only one bolt down here and then this one. They're probably about like 14 millimeters. 14. Alright, a 13. 13 does the trick, so we'll take these two off real quick, and then I already got a gasket and thermostat. Sure it's going to be taped on there. It's already leaking a little bit. Oh, that worked out a lot better. I don't even know what that white foamy stuff is. It's pretty kind of weird. Okay, I'll probably just clean that up really good. The thermostat here. The car was running good and everything. I didn't need to take this off and replace it. But I just figured I'm already here. And I wanted to do the coolant flush and, you know, have it running pretty decent, so. Obviously, I just thought might as well, you know. Yeah, look at that. I mean, eventually it was gonna go out, and it's pretty dang close to going out. So, I'll be using the Felpro gasket. There's some cheaper ones. They're like $1.50. This one's like $3. I just rather go with the one that's a little bit better. Make sure there's a good seal. It's the part number. And the thermostat I went with is 3358. I believe it opens up at 185. So I got my gasket here. Cleaned off my housing. Looks a lot better. So I am just going to put this on like this. Put my bolt on. And then my other one. Kind of hold it on there to have it ready, and then I'll just go ahead and put the thermostat. It sits right in there. Side. And that way your gasket doesn't fall out of line. Alright, we got them all started. I'm not gonna go too crazy with this yet. But right now I'm just gonna leave it on. I have one on order from Amazon. They're like 15 bucks. If you go to like O'Reilly's or AutoZone, they're like $30-$40. So budget build, you guys. But yeah, so that's all on there. Now we're ready to reinstall the hoses. I already did this one. Now we can do this one over here. And I would recommend replacing the clamps too, if they are the older style ones, because now that I clean this off, it's not going to grab on as good as it did before. Seems to do the job. We got pretty much everything back on. We got pretty much everything back on over here also. So that's gonna be pretty much it. I just have to connect the lower radiator hose, and then we can start filling it up with coolant, and then go ahead and do our oil change on it, and we should be good to go. Alright, you guys. So I did end up putting a little bit of RTV on the gasket just because it had a very small leak. Either way, when you turn it on the first time and then like start it up to temperature, to regular operating temperature, it should probably go away on its own. But if obviously you see something that's profusely leaking just continuously, it's probably not sealed properly. Usually I've heard though that you can't get away with just putting the gasket on. There's got to be some sort of RTV on it. It also helps you keep the gasket in place when putting it on, like how you did with the 2 bolts. But I ended up putting just a little bit on just to kind of keep it where it needed to be and tighten it. I think it says it's supposed to be about 15 foot-pounds. I think I put it to like 18 or 20. And then the valve cover gasket, I forgot to tell you guys, which I probably would put on the top. The valve cover gasket, it was a ridiculous amount of like 55 foot-pounds with RTV. And with the RTV dry, it said it was 44 foot-pounds. I don't even know what that means, to be honest, but that's what it said in the specs. I think I tightened it up to like 25, 30, and it didn't leak. I just started it up right now, and I just had it running, put a little bit more coolant in it, just kind of topped it off. I'm going to let it cool down. I ended up putting the radiator cap on it. What you want to do is rev it up a little bit just to get those air bubbles out of there, because then you will get like overheating issues if all the air is not out of the system. Sometimes you can find like a funnel on the radiator cap, and it kind of like, once you have it on and revving it up a couple of times and it circulates, it kind of goes down and up until it finally has enough of what coolant it's supposed to be. What I usually do too is after the first couple of times, so I'll let it cool down. I'll open up the radiator cap once it's cooled off, and then I'll top it off if it needs any. And if not, I'll let it run a little bit longer, get it all the way up to operating temperature, and then turn it back on. Then turn it back off. Then let it cool down again, and just kind of cycle through a couple of times just to make sure. I always check the fluids, usually all the time, just to be safe. But especially after doing something like that, you want to make sure you have enough oil after doing the valve cover gasket and changing the oil. Just kind of check it for a couple of days at the beginning. Same thing with the coolant. Obviously, you don't want to put too little in and be like, oh yeah, it's all good to go, and the next thing you know, there could be a leak, or you think you put enough in of what it was supposedly required, or it looked like it was full, and then it kind of runs through all the chambers, all the hoses, and then it's a little bit low, so then you're going to have issues. But yeah, just check it a couple of times. But that's going to be it for this video, you guys. I appreciate you guys watching and everything, and we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. You guys will probably see this when I'm probably over the 1,000 subscribers, since this continuous build has been going on for the past couple of months, and I'm only at the videos of literally December. So I'm gonna upload one today for you guys, which is September 10th, and then I'm gonna try and keep it going where I can hopefully get you guys one every Friday or Saturday. Worst possible scenario will be Sunday that I can get you guys a video out, but I'm going to try and do it at least once a week. But this is not a full-time job as of yet, so I basically have my full-time job, and then this is on the side, so whenever I have time, I am trying to edit videos, but I do record more than I edit, so hopefully we'll get more to doing the editing so we can catch up on all these nice, cool videos that we have for you guys. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, y'all. Peace.